The observation deck of the Galactic Council station hung above Kepler Prime like a great eye watching the galaxy. Commander David Harper stood at the window and looked out at the stars. His hands were open at his sides. His jaw was tight. Behind him, the Galactic Council sat in their high seats and spoke words that would destroy everything he had fought to protect. The Council had 5 members. Each one was old. Each one had lived for thousands of years. They were not human. They were not anything like humans. Elder Zixthara sat in the center seat. Her body was tall and thin and made of something that looked like crystal. Her voice was soft when she spoke, but it was also strong. The other council members listened when she spoke. "The vote is finished," Zixthara said. "Humanity will be stripped of all weapons. Humanity will be stripped of all technology. Humanity will be sent back to their home world to live as they did before they reached the stars." Harper did not turn around. He already knew what she would say. He had known for 3 days that this was coming. The war with the Valorian Empire had killed too many people. The humans had fought hard. The humans had killed many Valorian ships and soldiers. But in the eyes of the Council, the humans were the problem. The humans were too violent. The humans were too unstable. The humans could not be trusted with weapons or with space travel. The Council saw humans as a danger to the galaxy. "This is wrong," Harper said. He spoke to the stars, not to the Council. "We earned our place in this galaxy. You earned your place by almost destroying it," one of the other Council members said. His name was Torvex. He was a Zarkian, a warrior race that had conquered many worlds. "Your species is a plague. You breed fast. You kill fast. You think only of today, not tomorrow. The galaxy will be safer without you in the stars." Harper turned around. His eyes were hard. "And what about the humans who are already out there? The colonies? The families that have lived for 100 years on other worlds? They will be collected and returned," Zixthara said. "It will take time, but it will be done. No human will be allowed to leave Earth. No human will be allowed to own weapons or ships. Your species will start again." The door at the back of the observation deck opened. Captain Lauren West walked in. She was a pilot, and her body was thin and fast. She had flown more combat missions than any other human in the fleet. Her face showed she had already heard the news. "It is done?" West asked. Harper nodded. West hit the window with her open hand. The glass did not break. "They are cowards. They are afraid because we are strong. They are afraid because we are different," Zixthara said. The council member stood up. She was taller than Harper had thought. "Your species is too new. You have not learned the lessons that take thousands of years to understand. You have not learned how to live with others. You have not learned how to control your nature." "Then teach us," Harper said. The words came out hard and fast. "Give us the time to learn." Zixthara looked at him for a long moment. Her crystal body caught the light from Kepler Prime and threw it back in colors that did not have names in human language. "There is another way," she said at last. "It is an old way. It is forgotten by most in the galaxy. It is the way of the trials of Aethon." The other council members made sounds. They were sounds of surprise and concern. "The trials are myth," Torvex said. "They are stories told to children. They do not work in this galaxy. They do not work now. They worked once," Zixthara said. "A species that was thought to be too dangerous was given a chance. A champion was sent to complete 12 deeds. If the champion succeeded, the species was given a place among the stars. If the champion failed, the species was destroyed. The myth says that the champion changed the galaxy. The myth says that the champion showed the galaxy what the species could be." Harper understood what Zixthara was saying. His heart began to beat faster. You are saying you will give us a chance? He asked. I am saying that I will offer you a chance, Zixtar said. A human must volunteer to be the champion. This human must complete 12 deeds. These deeds cannot be done by a machine. These deeds cannot be done by a fleet. These deeds must be done by one human, alone or with a small group. If the human succeeds, humanity will be granted full status as a galactic civilization. If the human fails, the council will vote again, and humanity will be destroyed. That is not fair, Wes said. That is not a real choice. No, Zixtar said. It is not fair. It is a trial. Fairness is not part of a trial. The council members made more sounds. They were sounds of argument and doubt. But Zixtar held up her hand, and the sound stopped. One champion, she said. One human. Who will volunteer? The room was silent. The silence was long and heavy. Then a voice came from the back of the observation deck. I will. Aethon walked forward. He was a soldier. He was not tall, but he was strong. His face was scarred from the war. His eyes were the color of old metal. He had fought in every major battle. He had killed many people. He had seen many people die. He was carrying all of that death with him when he walked toward the council. Harper and West stared at him. They did not expect this. Who are you? Torvex asked. My name is Aethon, the soldier said. I am a soldier of Earth. I am one of the people who killed your soldiers and destroyed your ships. If you are going to take away humanity's future, then I will take it back. I will do your trials. I will complete your 12 deeds. I will show you what we are. Aethon stopped in front of Zixtar. His hands were empty at his sides. I do not fear death, Aethon said. I do not fear you. I fear only that my people will be forgotten. I will do this trial so that will not happen. Zixtar looked at him for a very long time. Then she made a sound that might have been agreement. Very well, she said. The trial begins. Your first deed will be to enter the Shadowvale Nebula and retrieve the Crystal of Harmony. The nebula is a place where space itself breaks apart. Few who enter return. The crystal is protected by ancient machines. They will try to stop you. You must succeed or die. Aethon did not move. He did not show fear. When do I leave? He asked. Now, Zixtar said. Aethon turned and walked toward the door. Harper and West followed him. In the corridor outside, West grabbed Aethon's arm. You are going to die, she said. Everyone knows it. The Shadowvale Nebula kills ships. It kills people. The Council sent you there to fail. Maybe, Aethon said. But I am going to try. Are you coming? West looked at Harper. Harper nodded. We are coming, West said. They walked together toward the docking bay. Outside the station, Earth hung in the darkness. It was blue and brown and white. It was home. It was the future. It was worth dying for. Aethon looked at his homeworld one last time. Then he looked away. He had 12 deeds to complete. He had nothing left to lose. The ship's name was the Horizon. It was small and fast. It was built for exploring space where other ships could not go. Aethon stood on the bridge and watched the Shadowvale Nebula grow larger as they approached it. The nebula was a cloud of gas and dark matter that filled a whole section of space. It looked like a storm. It looked like something alive and angry. Dr. Raymond Price sat at the science station. He was old and worried. His hands moved across the control panel and made readings and numbers appear on screens. Each number made him more worried. The radiation is very high, Price said. The gravitational forces are not normal. Space is bending there. Physics is breaking. I do not know how a ship will move through that. We will move slowly, Aethon said. "We will move carefully. We will move forward." The horizon entered the nebula. Immediately, the ship began to shake. The lights on the bridge changed colors. Yellow became red. Red became purple. Purple became colors that did not have names. Price held on to his station to keep from falling. "The sensors cannot see clearly," Price said. He was almost shouting over the sound of the alarms. "The readings are wrong. The distance is wrong. We are moving but not moving. Time is not moving right." Aethon did not change his face. He held the control stick and pushed the ship forward. The horizon moved through the nebula like a small animal moving through a forest at night. It was dark. It was full of danger. Then the visions began. Aethon saw things that were not there. He saw people he had killed during the war. They stood on the bridge and looked at him with empty eyes. He saw his mother. She was young and alive. She was holding a gun to her head. He knew this had never happened, but he saw it anyway. "Are you seeing things?" Price asked. His voice was strange and far away. "Yes," Aethon said. "Good," Price said. "That means the nebula is working right. If you could see clearly in the shadow veil, something would be very wrong." For 3 hours, Aethon and Price moved through the nebula. Aethon drove the ship and saw things that hurt to see. Price made readings and tried not to go mad. The ship shook and moved and sometimes seemed to move backward. Even though they were moving forward. Then they saw the station. It was very old. It was made of metal that was older than the Galactic Council. It was made of metal that was older than all human civilization. The station was floating in space, and around it were other ships. These ships were also very old. They were scattered and broken. Some of them had been here for 1,000 years or more. "Those are precursor ships," Price said. His voice was full of wonder. The precursors were the first spacefaring civilization. They were before everyone else. The legends say they disappeared 2 million years ago. Aethon brought the horizon close to the station. There was an opening in the side. The opening was dark. It might have been a docking bay. It might have been a place where ships could enter. "I am going inside," Aethon said. "You are going to die," Price said. "That station is older than the mountains on Earth. It will fall apart. The air will be poison. There will be machines that kill anything that enters." "Yes," Aethon said. He was already putting on a suit to protect himself from the deadly air and the radiation outside. "But the crystal is in there. I can feel it." Aethon left the ship and floated toward the station. His suit was heavy. His breathing was loud in his ears. The station grew larger and larger until it filled his entire vision. It was vast. It was a mountain made of metal. He pulled himself through the opening and found himself inside a tunnel. The tunnel was long and dark. The walls were covered with lights that had stopped working a long time ago. Aethon moved forward, pulling himself along the rails that hung from the ceiling. After a long time, he came to a large chamber. The chamber was filled with machines. The machines were old, but they were still moving. They moved slowly, and they moved with purpose. In the center of the chamber, on a high table, was the crystal of harmony. The crystal was beautiful. It was clear and blue and white. It seemed to hold all the light in the chamber inside itself. Just looking at it made Aethon feel like something was healing inside him. Then the machines woke up. They moved toward him. They were made of metal and wire and moving parts. They were not alive, but they moved like they were alive. They moved like they wanted to kill him. Aethon ran toward the high table. The machines reached out at him. One machine touched his shoulder, and his suit began to tear. Another machine tried to grab his helmet. He hit it with his fist. His fist broke, but the machine's arm broke too. He reached the high table and grabbed the crystal. As soon as his hands touched it, the machines stopped moving. They stopped and fell to the floor like they had never been alive at all. Then the station began to shake. The walls cracked. Dust fell from the ceiling. The whole station was breaking apart. Aethon ran back through the tunnel. Behind him, the station was collapsing. Metal fell from above. The tunnel was filling with darkness. Then he heard a voice. It was a small voice. It was a child's voice. It was crying. Aethon stopped running. He turned back. In a doorway off to the side, he saw something moving. It was a small figure. It was not human. It was blue and green and made of something that looked like light. "Help me," the figure said. Aethon knew he should keep running. The station was falling apart. The tunnel was closing behind him. He would die if he did not get to the ship. He would fail the trial, but he also knew that he could not leave a child alone. He ran toward the voice. He found a small Velti, a young alien with eyes like stars. The Velti was trapped under a fallen metal beam. It was hurt. It was scared. Aethon lifted the beam. It was heavy. His broken hand screamed with pain. He lifted it, and the young Velti scrambled free. Aethon picked the small alien up and ran toward the tunnel. The tunnel was almost completely closed. There was only a small opening left at the end. Aethon ran hard. His lungs burned. His legs burned. Everything burned. The small Velti held onto his suit with hands that were weak and gentle. He threw himself and the Velti through the opening just as it closed. He floated in space with the crystal in one hand and the young Velti in the other. The station fell apart behind him. It became dust. It became nothing. The horizon was still there. The ship was waiting. Aethon pulled himself back to the ship with the Velti child and the crystal. When he got back to the bridge, Price was pale and shaking. "You got it," Price said. "You got the crystal?" "Yes," Aethon said. Price saw the young Velti. His face changed. "You brought back an alien?" "Yes," Aethon said. "The council will not be happy," Price said. "The mission was to get the crystal. You were supposed to leave everything else behind." Aethon looked at the small Velti. The young alien was looking up at him with eyes that were tired and grateful and afraid. A humanity that leaves children to die is a humanity not worth saving, Aethon said. "The council can think what they want." He held the Velti close and walked off the bridge. The horizon began its journey back to the Galactic Council Station. Behind them, the Shadow Veil Nebula was dark and deep and full of old secrets. Aethon had completed the first trial, but he felt like something important had started that could not be. Stopped. He looked at the sleeping Velti child and wondered what the council would say. He wondered if he had just failed the trial or if he had just begun to understand what it was really for. The Velti child's name was Kai. He was 9 years old, though Velti years were longer than human years. He stood in the Galactic Council chamber, and his blue skin seemed to glow under the bright lights. He was small and thin, and he was shaking. The council members were staring at him like he was a virus. "You were given one task," Torvek said. His voice was loud and cold. "You were given one task, and you failed it. You wasted time and resources saving an alien of no importance." "The Velti are weak," another council member said. Her name was Shender, and she was from a race of warriors. "They are not warriors. They do not build weapons. They do not have ships. They have no value to the galaxy." Aethon stepped forward. His broken hands were wrapped in white cloth. His face was hard. "The child had value," Aethon said. "That is enough." "That is not enough," Torvek said. "That is a waste. That is exactly why your species cannot be trusted. You think with your emotions, not with your mind. You will get humanity killed." Then Kai did something that surprised everyone. The young Velti walked toward Torvex. His small hands reached out. He touched Torvex on the face. Immediately, the large warrior council member made a sound. It was a sound like pain. He fell to one knee. His hands went to his head. Sweat ran down his face in rivers. "Stop it," Torvex said. His voice was broken. "Please stop." But Kai was not trying to hurt him. The Velti child was doing something else. Kai was seeing into Torvex's mind. Kai was seeing the old pain that Torvex had been carrying for hundreds of years. There was a wound in Torvex's mind that had never healed. It was the memory of his daughter dying in a war. He had never let anyone help him heal from that wound. Kai touched the wound and made it better. Not all the way better, but better. The pain that Torvex felt began to get smaller and smaller. When Kai took his hand away, Torvex fell to the ground. He was crying. A large warrior, a council member, was crying like a child. "What did you do?" he asked. "I helped," Kai said. His voice was small and gentle. "That is what Velti do. We help when people are hurt inside." Elder Zixthara stood up. She was very tall, and the light from her crystal body filled the whole chamber. "I understand," she said. A human understood that a Velti can have value even though the Velti were not warriors. A human understood that healing is more important than weapons. This is what the trials are for. This is what we are testing. She looked at the other council members. "The first trial is complete," she said. "Now comes the second trial. Aethon must go to Kethran 5. On that world, there is war. The Kethrani people are being occupied by the Valorian Empire. The Valorians see the Kethrani as slaves. The Kethrani see the Valorians as murderers. They have been fighting for 100 years. Aethon must bring peace to Kethran 5. He must do this in one lunar cycle. If he fails, we will know that he cannot build peace. We will know that humanity is doomed." Aethon did not argue. He bowed his head. Then he looked up. "I will need help," he said. "You will have Captain West," Zixthara said. "She is the only other human who will be allowed to go with you." 3 hours later, Aethon and Captain West landed on Kethran 5. The planet was red and rocky. The sky was dark orange. There was war everywhere. They could see fires in the distance. They could hear explosions. The Valorian Empire had set up a military base in the center of the largest city. The Kethrani lived outside the city, in camps made of cloth and broken metal. They were poor. They were hungry. They were dying. West and Aethon walked toward the Valorian base. Soldiers stopped them at the gate. "We want to talk to Commander Vextok," Aethon said. The soldiers looked at each other. One of them went inside. A few minutes later, a tall Valorian walked out. He was gray-skinned and had many scars. When he saw Aethon, he stopped. "You," Vextok said. His voice was full of hate. "You are the one who killed my soldiers in the war. You are the one who destroyed my ships." "Yes," Aethon said. "And you are the one who tried to kill me. You are the one who ordered attacks on human cities." Vextok pulled out a weapon. His hand was shaking. He could kill Aethon right now. No one would stop him. "Why should I not kill you?" Vextok asked. "Because I did not come here to fight," Aethon said. "I came here to show you something." Aethon told Vextok what he had discovered by looking at the records on Kethran 5. The war was not really between the Valorians and the Kethrani. The war was being kept alive by weapons dealers and corporate people who made money from fighting. These people were selling weapons to both sides. They were paying soldiers to keep the war going. The war would never end unless someone made it end. Vextok listened. His face was angry, and then confused, and then sad. "I have killed 10,000 people," Vextok said. "I have killed them because I was told to kill them. I have killed them to make people rich who do not even know this world exists." "Yes," Aethon said. "That is what I came to tell you." Then Aethon made a proposal. Vextalk and Aethon would work together. They would find the weapons dealers. They would find the corporate people. They would bring both the Kathrani and the Valorians together and show them the truth. Vextalk thought about this for a very long time. "If I do this," he said, "the Valorian Empire will remove me from command. They will say I betrayed them." "Yes," Aethon said. "Then I will do it," Vextalk said, "because I am tired of killing. I am tired of war. I am tired of blood." Vextalk took off his uniform and threw it on the ground. For 10 days, Aethon, West, and Vextalk worked together. They found the evidence they needed. They found the messages between the weapons dealers and the military leaders. They found the money being moved from one account to another. They found the lies that were holding up the war. Then they brought everyone together in the city square. They brought both Kathrani and Valorian soldiers. They brought the people who lived there. They brought the leaders. Aethon stood in the center and told the truth. "Your war is not real," he said. "Your hate is being sold to you. Your children are being killed so that rich people can get richer. You have the power to stop this. You have the power to say no." The Kathrani and the Valorians looked at each other. For the first time in 100 years, they saw each other clearly. They saw that they were not enemies. They were just people who had been forced to be enemies. The war stopped. Not all of the pain stopped. Not all of the hate stopped. But the killing stopped. The Valorian soldiers left Catherine 5. The Kathrani could walk in the city again. Families could look for each other. As Aethon and West left the planet, Vextalk walked them to their ship. "What will happen to you?" Aethon asked. "I do not know," Vextalk said. "But I will not kill anymore. I will not order killing. That is all I know." He looked at Aethon with respect. "You have shown me something," Vextalk said. "You have shown me that an enemy can become something else. You have shown me that change is possible." Aethon and Vextalk did not hug. Warrior does not hug warrior. But they put their hands together, and in that moment, they were not enemies anymore. The ship left Catherine 5. 2 trials were complete. Aethon knew that 10 more trials were coming. He knew that they would be harder, but he also knew something important. He knew that change was possible. He knew that peace could be built. He knew that his people had something to offer the galaxy that the galaxy did not have. Captain West sat next to him on the bridge. "You are becoming a legend," she said. "No," Aethon said. "I am just a human trying to save his people." But in his mind, he knew that West was right. He was becoming something more than just a soldier. He was becoming a sign that change was possible. He was becoming a symbol of what humanity could be. And 10 more trials were waiting. 6 trials had been completed. Aethon had retrieved the crystal. He had saved the Velti child. He had brought peace to Catherine 5. He had found a lost artifact that could heal a dying star. He had made peace between 3 merchant fleets that had been fighting for 50 years. He had discovered the cure for the plague of sorrows that was killing the people of the Andromedan Collective. 6 trials were done, and Aethon was broken. Dr. Price saw it first. They were traveling to the location of the 6th trial, and Aethon was sitting alone in the ship's dark room. Price found him there, staring at nothing. "You are not sleeping," Price said. "I am sleeping," Aethon said. "I am dreaming of all the people I have killed. I am dreaming of all the people I did not save." Price sat down next to him. The old scientist did not know what to say. "How many people are dead because of my choices?" Aethon asked. "How many died on Catherine 5 while I was still making my plan? How many died from the plague while I was traveling to find the cure?" "How many?" "I do not know," Price said. Millions, Aethon said. Millions of people are dead. And I am being called a hero. I am being called the savior of the galaxy. But I am a killer. Everything I do kills people. For 3 days, Aethon did not speak. He did not eat. He did not move. He sat in the dark room and carried the weight of every person who had died because of his choices. The ship arrived at the location of the 6th trial. It was a planet called Obsidian, and it hung in space like a black stone. The planet was prison. The worst criminals in the galaxy were locked in the Obsidian depths, an interdimensional prison carved into the planet itself. The prison had no doors. The prison had no windows. The only way in or out was through the will of the jailer, an ancient being who had guarded the prison for 10,000 years. Aethon walked to the edge of the Obsidian depths. The entrance looked like a mouth. It looked like something that wanted to eat him. A figure appeared in the darkness. It was tall and made of shadow. It had no face. It had no eyes. It was the jailer. You are the human who thinks he can save the galaxy, the jailer said. Its voice was like wind in a dead forest. I am the human who is trying to save his people, Aethon said. Then you will fail, the jailer said. Everyone fails. Everyone comes here and sees what they do not want to see. Everyone comes here and breaks. The jailer opened its hand, and a path appeared in the darkness. Aethon walked forward. The obsidian depths were full of pain. Aethon saw prisoners in cells that were made of light and wire. Some of them were guilty. They had killed. They had stolen. They had done terrible things. But most of them were not guilty. They were there because they spoke against their governments. They were there because they believed different things. They were there because they were different dot in one cell. Aethon found a human. His name was Marcus. He was thin and pale, and his eyes were full of anger. Are you here to free us? Marcus asked. No, Aethon said. I am here to get something from the jailer. I am here to complete a trial. Marcus laughed. It was a sound like breaking glass. You are here for yourself, Marcus said. You do not care about anyone else. You are just like all the other conquerors. You use people. You say you are saving them, but you are just using them. I am trying to save my people, Aethon said. From what? Marcus asked. From being destroyed? So they can be slaves instead of being destroyed? Is that what you are saving them for? So they can build weapons for other people? So they can be part of the machine that grinds up everyone who is different? Aethon did not have an answer. He moved deeper into the prison. He saw rooms full of people screaming. He saw rooms full of people who had given up screaming. He saw torture chambers. He saw places where minds were broken and remade. He saw everything that was evil in the galaxy, and it was all in this one place. The jailer walked with him. This is the truth, the jailer said. This is what the galaxy is. It is a machine for breaking things. It is a machine for making people suffer. You cannot change this. You can only delay it. Aethon found what he was looking for in the center of the prison. It was a key. The key was small and beautiful, and it was made of something that looked like light. If Aethon brought the key to the council, it would open a prison on another world. A prison that held the final cure for all the diseases in the galaxy. But to get the key, Aethon had to leave everyone else here. He reached for the key. His hand touched it. But then he looked around. He looked at all the faces. He looked at Marcus. He looked at all the prisoners who had no hope. I cannot leave them, Aethon said. The jailer made a sound like laughter. Then you fail, it said. The trial requires you to return with the key. You cannot bring them. The key is all that matters. No, Aethon said. They matter. But even as he said it, he knew that he could not save them. He could not break the prison. He did not have the power. The jailer was too strong. The depths were too deep. So Aethon took the key, and he left everyone else behind. He walked out of the obsidian depths, carrying the weight of every person he had left to suffer. When he got back to the ship, Dr. Price saw his face and knew what had happened. "You had to do it," Price said. "I did not have to do it," Aethon said. "I chose to do it. I chose my people over the people in the prison." He looked out at the stars. "Maybe Marcus was right," Aethon said. "Maybe I am just another person using the system. Maybe I am just another person putting my people first and everyone else second." Dr. Price did not know what to say. He was just an old scientist. He could not fix the broken things in Aethon's mind. The ship left Obsidian. 6 trials were complete. Aethon had the key. The final cure was one step closer. But inside, Aethon was falling apart. He had done everything right, and it was all wrong. He had saved his people, and he had done it by abandoning everyone else. He had become a hero by doing something that no hero would do. And he had 6 more trials to complete. He did not know if he could do it. He did not know if he wanted to do it anymore. But he moved forward anyway, because there was nothing else to do. The galaxy was waiting, and Aethon was still falling. Aethon completed the 7th trial by traveling into a region of space where a plague was turning people to ash and dust. He worked with doctors who believed they were going to die. He helped them understand the disease. Together they found the cure and saved 1 million people. He completed the 8th trial by preventing a star from collapsing and destroying 3 inhabited worlds. He had to go into the star itself. He had to use ancient technology that he did not understand. Millions of people lived because he did something that should have killed him. The 9th trial took him to a world where 2 species had been fighting a genocidal war for 2,000 years. Aethon forced them to talk. He forced them to look at each other. Slowly, they stopped killing. It took 3 months, and Aethon could not sleep during any of that time. The 10th trial was different. A species called the Synthesis was dying because they had bred themselves into a dead end. Their children were being born broken and sick. Aethon found genetic information stored in the ruins of the precursor civilization. He brought it to the Synthesis scientists. The Synthesis used the information to save their species. For the 11th trial, Aethon had to solve a mathematical problem that had confused the greatest minds in the galaxy for 10,000 years. The problem held the key to understanding how the universe worked. Aethon looked at the problem, and his mind broke it down into pieces, and the answer came to him. He did not know how he knew. He just knew. 11 trials were complete. Aethon returned to Earth for the first time since he had left. His ship landed in a valley, and he walked out onto the green ground. The air was clean. The sky was blue. The sun was warm on his face. Commander Harper was waiting for him. The old military leader had tears running down his face. "You did it," Harper said. "You saved us." But Aethon did not feel like he had saved anything. He felt like a ghost. He was hollow inside. They walked together to a place where children were playing. The children ran around and laughed and fell down and got back up. They did not know about trials. They did not know about the Galactic Council. They did not know that their future was being decided by one broken soldier. "Why are we here?" Aethon asked. "Because you need to remember why you are doing this," Harper said. Captain West was there. She was sitting by a fire. Next to her was Kai, the young Velti, who was now much older. Kai had grown into a beautiful being made of light and gentle power. "You came back," Kai said. "Yes," Aethon said. "I knew you would," Kai said. "I have been helping people heal since you saved me. I have used the gift you gave me by caring about me when you should have been finishing your mission. I have healed 10,000 people. All of them are alive because you chose to save me." Aethon understood something then. He understood that his choices had made a difference. Not in the way he had thought, not in the way the trials were measured, but in something deeper. The Galactic Council called him back for the final trial. Aethon stood before the council, and Elder Zixthara spoke. "You have completed 11 deeds," she said. "Now comes the 12th. But unlike the other trials, this one cannot be assigned. This one must be discovered by the champion himself. This one must come from the champion's understanding of what the galaxy truly needs." "What does the galaxy need?" Aethon asked. "That is not for us to tell you," Zixthara said. "You must find the answer yourself." Aethon thought about this for a long time. He thought about all the trials. He thought about the crystal he had retrieved. He thought about Kai. He thought about Kethron 5 and Vextok becoming something other than a warrior. He thought about Marcus in the obsidian depths and the prisoners he could not save. He thought about the star he had prevented from collapsing. He thought about the plague he had stopped. He thought about all the pain and all the choice he had made. Then Aethon understood. The 12th trial was not about accomplishing something physical. It was about choosing who humanity would be. Aethon spoke to the council. "The galaxy does not need a stronger weapon," he said. "The galaxy does not need a faster ship or a better technology. The galaxy has all of those things, and the galaxy is still full of suffering." He looked at each council member. "What the galaxy needs is something it has forgotten," Aethon said. "The galaxy needs to know that it is possible to choose compassion even when you have the power to destroy. The galaxy needs to know that strength comes not from weapons, but from the choice to help the helpless. The galaxy needs to know that mercy is more powerful than conquest." Aethon brought forward the people he had met on his journey. Kai spoke about healing. Vextok, who had traveled from his Valorian world, spoke about how an enemy could become something else. The Kethrani leaders spoke about peace. The synthesis scientists spoke about second chances. Even some of the prisoners from the obsidian depths spoke about hope. One by one, they testified that humanity, through Aethon, had shown them what they had forgotten. They testified that humans were willing to sacrifice. Humans were willing to choose mercy. Humans were willing to build instead of destroy. The Galactic Council voted. The vote was unanimous. Humanity was granted full status as a galactic civilization. Not as a warrior species. Not as a species to be feared. But as a species of decision-makers and healers. As a species that could show the galaxy what it meant to choose compassion in the face of suffering. The Council offered Aethon everything. Power, wealth, a place of honor, a throne among the stars. Aethon refused it all. "I will go back to Earth," he said. "I will be a soldier. I will help my people learn how to live with all of you. I will help my people become what they have the power to become." He walked toward the exit of the council chamber. Elder Zixthara called after him. "You have changed the galaxy," she said. "You understand that?" "I have changed nothing," Aethon said. "I have only shown the galaxy what it already knew was possible. The rest is up to everyone else." Aethon left the council chamber. The first ships from the galaxy began arriving at Earth, not as conquerors, not as occupiers, but as visitors. They came to meet the species that had chosen compassion. They came to learn from humans. They came because they wanted to understand what it meant to choose mercy. Commander Harper and Aethon stood on the shore of Earth's greatest ocean. The sun was setting. The water was golden red. "You are a legend now," Harper said. "No," Aethon said. "Legends are distant. Legends are stories told to children about people who are not real. I am not a legend. I am just a neighbor. I am someone who chose to help. That is what I want to be." They stood together in the fading light and watched the ships arrive. Ships from the Velti, ships from the Valorians, Ships from 1,000 species that have been separated and afraid and alone. They were not coming to Earth to conquer. They were coming because they wanted to know what it meant to be human. They were coming because they wanted to learn what it meant to choose compassion. And in that moment, Aethon knew that he had not saved humanity from extinction. He had saved the galaxy from forgetting what it meant to be alive.